I realized that definitely I was fortunate enough to realize that agriculture is the only sector today globally that can actually provide jobs for thousands of youth, and it's the only sector that, if properly navigated, can provide jobs for thousands, and millions of youth, in Africa and the world at large. I realized this at a very early stage when I started my career, even while working as an audit trainee, and started creating the blog, bringing different articles, writing different articles, speaking articles from international organizations, from international agencies, put on that particular blog, and using that blog as an article to create knowledge and share information across to locals and also to Nigerians who are interested in agriculture. That was where the journey started from. And we thank God today that for us, as corporate farmers, the then blog has grown, into a company that has a spread across several parts of Nigeria, Africa, and the world at large. And the good enough is that we have a fantastic team in our company that are doing amazingly well, basically from farm management services, agri-technology, and also creating innovative platforms to help galvanize and also help us see agriculture beyond farming. So for the topic, which Femi has shared, I believe that definitely agriculture is a fast track for the future, and is definitely the only sector that I believe in that would help grow not only Nigeria but Africa and the world at large. Because basically, as time go as from indices and indications over the years, we've seen that agriculture has been the only sector that has taken Africa or Nigeria particularly out of recession at several occasions. And the question is, why are we not navigating or properly exploring the agricultural sector the way we should? Yes, the government is trying their best. We have private sectors involved in agriculture, but definitely, how can we now take the agricultural trend or what we have today in agriculture, how best can we navigate it and take us to the future? Now, there's a simple question and there's a simple analysis. Today in other African countries, majorly, I always try to use the East Africa as a major yardstick because I've been there, I've read about them, and I also know how vast they are in terms of agriculture and definitely the future they've embedded into this agriculture. But for us in Nigeria, the question is, how best are we able to navigate or plan towards in agriculture as the sector that would take the economy or provide jobs for thousands of youth, in Nigeria today? What are the things we need to do to navigate the country and help us explore opportunities across agriculture into the future? Now, there's several things I'm going to outline for us to just take note of. And even as agripreneurs or as participants, can begin to take from this and learn, from my own little experience and from the work that I've been able to put together. I and my team have been able to put together over a couple of years, in ensuring that we build a strong platform that has stood the test of time in developing and adding value to agriculture in Nigeria. Several times people have called me and asked me, why is it that you didn't study agriculture in school, but regardless, you are so vast and you've been in the industry for very long years. To be factual, my background was never agriculture. My background was basically from the insurance sector. Then I studied accounting. Then before I now further studied my MBA and took other professional exams relating to agribusiness. But I never had that solid background on what agriculture is. So that's why most times I envy students of agriculture because they do not understand the gold mine they have in their hands or how best they can better explore the gold mine they have in their hands. Sometimes I wish that I actually studied agriculture in school you know, if I had done that, I'm telling you, I'm going to be far, far beyond where I am today in the sector. But because I understand the entire rudiments. Not that I don't understand the rudiments now, but it's more like an added advantage to study agriculture in school. But I never had the opportunity until like 20 years ago, when I grew the passion for my late grandfather, and also personal enthusiast to build or to be part of the sector. Um, so ever since then, it's been a wonderful story for me. You know, people ask me, actually, look, you're so popular, you never tell everybody in the agri space, because we've been able to add value over the years. We've been able to impute certain things over the years. We've been able to develop young agripreneurs, people I call the new agricultural talents. You know that most times when you go to record labels, they sign new artists. You know, when you sign new artists, you sign new management and all that. So I say, look, for us in the sector, we need to start, you know, signing in new agricultural talents, people, young folks that would change the entire game and the narrative totally. And we're beginning to have those folks now. We're beginning to have those folks now, young folks that are quite doing agriculture differently. And I give you, in the next couple of years, towards the future, they will definitely transform the agri sector. It's just a matter of time. And it's a matter of, you know, having the right platform to grow, and also having the right yardstick and the inputs to grow. So Femi, I don't know if you're going to be asking me questions or just want to keep talking. I don't. So let me know how the system is. Is it you're going to be asking me questions, or I should just keep saying what I have today?
All right. So we just want to share experience, and then what do you think the focus of agriculture should look like in the next 30 years, you know, both from the Nigerian perspective and globally. But we are really getting and enjoying your experience. First of all, I never knew you didn't study agriculture until now. So it's great to hear that your background wasn't agriculture, but over the last 20 years, you've built expertise, and that's impressive, looking at what you've done in corporate farmers and what you plan to do in the next few years. And so we'd like to hear more of your stories and some impact you've done so far. And maybe then we can delve into, based on what you've seen, what you think agriculture should be.
All right, thank you, Femi. So for us, at corporate farmers, so what we've done over the years is quite amazing. And one of our core strengths, let me start from there, because we have three major centers, three major business line that we deal with. Number one is farm management services, and we have the agri communication services, that is agri media, agri communication. Then we also have the agri technology services. So we have three major business that we offer in the agri space. So I'm going to start from the farm management services. Now, today we have about 5 different farms. When I say farms, I mean commercial farms that we manage across the country. Some total 100% management, while some is in partnership. I'm going to start from the state we're managing currently. For example, a recent project, which is one of my biggest projects right today, is the one we are doing currently having in Kwara State, and that's an 100 hectares maize farm, which we're managing currently in Kwara State for to be reprocessed into feed mill in Kwara State. And the farm management team is doing fantastically awesome in that regard. You know, the team in Kwara have awesome set of for farmers, you know, expertise, you know, detailed, very detailed. And that's in Kwara State, and it's quite large. We have other commodities there too, like cassava. We have a cashew, which is a cash crop on the farm. And also we have other poultry. We have also poultry in Ekpe that we're also managing for the same farm. And also we have another one in Kogi State that is purely an oil palm farm, and mixed with certain commodities like maize, cassava, vegetables, and the likes. That's in Kogi State, and that's about 8 hectares. No, 14 hectares. Sorry, because I've doubled it. 14 hectares farm in Kogi State. We have another one in Ogun State, basically in somewhere along Shagamu. We have another one again in Ikenne. That is owned by a cooperative society. And also we have another one in Kebbi State, and that is a rice farm in partnership with certain folks in Kebbi State on rice production. So these are farms that we manage basically across the country, and we've been able to engage and also employ about more than over 100 farmers, farm management, and experts on the field that are doing amazingly well in the field for field expertise and also to impute their knowledge on agriculture on the field. And that is one of our business, and that has helped us to understand the critical issues in farm management in Nigeria today, the challenges, what we need to do, what are the gaps across board in farm management services. And because of the level of insecurity today, we're even scared to take up more farms, because one of the things we tell investors these days that, look, if you cannot fence your farm, have a proper security around the farm, I think there's no need for us to set up a commercial farm on the farm, because to avoid cows or headers, trespassing into your farm and eating the commodities you've invested heavily on. So we always say, look, let's try and avoid it. Let's take our time, provide some level of security around the farm first, before we now begin to plant, commercial scale on the farm. And that is one of the things we've been working on. And even most of all the farms we are working on currently, we have ensured that there are adequate securities around the farm. That is one bit of the business. Then the other bit of the business that we do is the agri-communication part. We call it agri-communications and media. That is where basically the company started from 20 years ago, because the history of the company started way back when we started writing the blog, and that is more of the extension service in the agri sector. People tell me that, look, I tell people a lot that, look, extension workers or extension service in the agri sector is so underrated. It's so underrated, and it's the future. We do not realize that extension service is the future of agriculture in Nigeria today, because you see, extension services or the service around agriculture is the bedrock. Number one, let's take it from the angle of extension workers. Farmers need to have adequate information in what they practice, regardless of the value chain which they're currently playing at. If farmers do not have adequate information, then they'll just be planting and be making loss. You need to be equipped with enough information, knowledge, and also practical training to ensure that whatever you're working on in the field is going to give you an optimum result at the end of the day. And that has been the bedrock of the company way back 20 years ago with a blog, and trying to put in information out there to ensure that farmers are well equipped with information. So for other corporate farmers, what we've done is that we've built a strong international media platform, both on visuals and also both in the print. So today we have two major programs on YouTube. It's called Agribusiness Weekend. So it means that in our company currently we have a studio, a multi-million studio that we built to bring in stakeholders across the agricultural value chain or ecosystem to talk about their success stories, what they've done, and the impact in the agri industry. And also we have another program called the Hangout with Youth in Agri, and that is basically for youth who are striving, who are really doing a lot to change the story in the agri sector. So we have two major programs. One is showcased on Wednesdays, one on Saturdays. So the idea is, and we've hosted Sterling Bank on the platform before, to talk about what Sterling Bank is doing in the agri-finance industry. So it's a whole platform basically for communications and the media in agricultural, and it's spread across the entire globe. So we have our audience from different African countries, and also from different parts of the UK, US, and also from Asia. So that has been a platform we've built, and it's been tremendously growing. And the third platform, or the third business that we also been able to build is the technology part of the company. And that is just new. That is also one of our newest baby. We've been able to understand that, look, for the future of agriculture to grow effectively, it is important that you infuse some level of technology into everything we're doing today, because COVID has taught the world a lot of lessons. Has taught the world a lot of lessons. Has taught every sector today a lot of lessons, how to do things differently, how to navigate business differently and also to manage business differently. And in everything we do today, we want to ensure that technology is a tool that we need to infuse together and help us grow the sector. So what am I saying? So because of COVID and what happened during the lockdown period in Nigeria and some part of the world, we've been able to build together an international and a world-class agri-tech platform, which we call an e-learning academy. So what we've done is to bring in edutech, agri-tech together, and create a one-stop solution that brings education in agriculture. So it means that what led us to do that was that we're trying to provide a solution whereby the educational part of agriculture does not shut down again. Because remember when COVID, when the lockdown was, sometimes last year, institutions were shut down for about 9 months. Basically, education system was shut down to its crap. And what we did was provide solutions we create hubs. I'm going to go to that, but what we did was provide solutions for institutions to jump on and say, look, regardless of whatever might happen in the future, there's a platform that has been created, that will explore different value chains of agriculture. So it means that you can learn from it. That's what we've done. And that has required reminders. Today we have partners from Lagos State, we have partners from Kebbi State government, Lagos State government, and also currently we are wrapping up a partnership with Nexford University, as our major partners on the e-learning academy. And also we are currently speaking with banks like EcoBank and also Sterling Bank, so that once we have students that have gone through the e-learning, they go for the practicals, on the field. Then from there, there's an opportunity for funding, once they are done with that process. So it's a process. You learn, you practice, then you fund, then there's funding after of it. So that's the three process. You just don't learn and we let you go. You learn, practicalize, then you fund. So that's what we've done in the
all right, you've actually said a lot about what you are doing at the moment, what you're doing as a person, and what corporate farmers are doing, and that brings a lot of questions for me. We have a lot of people here, a couple of people that some of them they are not yet into agriculture, but with the passion you've exuded today shows you've seen a good mind, you've seen something special that no one have seen. For example, for you to have left your, you said you started something related to insurance, for you to have led that path, which in its own sense has a very great career path on its own, but you saw something different entirely, So within 2-3 minutes, I would want us to really talk about that, and that, gives us the crux of today's matter. What are the potential opportunities that you have seen in agriculture that make you say, I'm devoting my entire life, I'm devoting whatever corporate farmers is doing, I'm devoting over 20 years of my career into this sector? Can you just share more light in it? It could be in terms of what potential you've seen that you think can inspire people here to want to go into agriculture.
All right, thanks, Femi. So this is it. It's simple. Now, agriculture is not rosy. Agriculture is not peanut. It's not like your MMM that spins the money. No, it takes time and patience. Time, patience, and you must be innovative. And also you must ensure that whatever you're doing within the space, you document it. When I say document, means that you put it in the face of the global audience to let them see what you're doing. We have a lot of striving farmers today that are doing so much, but they are not known. Because today, you see, there's a need for us to bring in some level of the media visibility and agriculture together. Now, because when you do that, it exposes you further to investors, exposes you further to those who will help you, those who will grow the sector for you, the main stakeholders who own the piece of cake in the sector. It helps you to do that. Let me give you a simple story of what we've done. Now, some 5 years ago, we started an initiative called Agri Campus Tour. Now, the simple idea was to tour various agri campuses across Nigeria. Now, good enough for us because we're able to explore those things we're doing and showcase what we're doing. Around 2019, 2020, we're able to work with Mastercard Foundation, on a project that takes us across the entire institutions in Nigeria. And we're able to train about 45,000 youth and sign them and discover and train them on the Nigeria Youth Connect Work program. So agriculture, as I would see it, is a wealth creation opportunity, a wealth creation sector, but you must do it smartly. You must be innovative, very innovative, and you must ensure that you put yourself or whatever you're doing, services, either is service, either is a production, ensure you put those pieces in media visibility. It goes a very, very long way. It exposes you to other international brands to get you discovered, even wherever you are in the world.
Great. So you mentioned some key points over there. First of all, that because people have also thought that, okay, agriculture should be, well, it's not agriculture. I can just do it anyhow. It takes time. It takes patience. Just as when you plant a seedling of maize now, you don't just harvest a cob of maize within a day.
Yeah.
It takes about 3 months before you can actually harvest your maize, and then you could,
Yes.
And you mentioned something very, very important, which is you must be innovative. That is moving away from the kind of ways we've been doing farming before. Now you must think of other ways of thinking outside the box to make it much more interesting and make it much more attractive. Yeah. And again, you mentioned a key point. Again, natural youth are not willing to go to agriculture. Agriculture is kind of, is a dirty job, so to say. I don't want to touch, the soil and things like that. And that's why today, even with the population of the country, over 33% of the entire population of the country falls between the age of 16 and 35. Most of them are not into agriculture. We prefer the white collar jobs, where, even though they don't pay that much, but because it's less stressful, we are willing to go all the way, And so it's very good to make us understand that for us to make agriculture less stressful, we need to be very innovative, and that make me to go to the digital aspect that you did mention, technology majorly. Can you just give us insight on ways we can use technology now to change the narration of agriculture in Nigeria today? Remember, mind you,
oh my. Oh, Femi, I lost you there.
Today, over 70% of those, people in that particular category, and so to make this difference.
Sorry, Femi, I lost you a bit there. Can you just repeat it again? I'm sorry, please. I lost you there.
You said, okay, you lost me. Can you hear me now, please?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now? All right.
Yes, I can. I've lost you again. Lost you again.
I didn't mention that we have the role of that. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Hello, can you hear me? You can hear me? All right. So I did mention that we have the role of technology playing in agriculture today, and we can't do without that, So from your own perspective, and I did mention today that over 70% of those involved in agriculture today are small-scale individuals, maybe due to one issue or the other. They don't have that technology, to really make this happen. And they are the bulk of individuals that produce the food we eat today. So from your own perspective, as a new entrance into the business that does not have, that want to take life easy, so to say, and want to see agriculture in that light, what do you expect them to do when it comes to technology in deploying to agriculture to make a difference?
All right, Femi, I'm going to use this quote that says that technology doesn't have to be expensive to be effective. Okay, and it's critical. Technology can be anything. I'm going to use a simple scenario that I keep telling people. When the current president of AFDB was the Minister of Agriculture, around 2013, 2014, that he used the power of ICT, to help reduce the level of corruption in agriculture. So what he did was to buy all these small feature phones that I buy for 1,000, 2,000, naira. He bought it then in 2014 for about it was a pilot for about 60,000 farmers or more than, in Nigeria. So what he did was simple. So So at the point whereby federal government is distributing inputs, fertilizers, chemicals, seedlings to farmers across the country, what they do is that they send information to that mobile phone, just text message. Come to XYZ location, so date, come and pick up your inputs. So what is that? They have a complete data of farmers. So they send out information to them to pick up inputs anywhere they are in the country. And they come and they pick it up. Because before that, there are massive corruption, when government purchase fertilizers and doesn't get to the smallholder farmers. And then we don't have these our now Android and iPhones. Then it was more of the feature phones that we have in those days. The feature phones, that's what we have then. So what additional did was to use the simple technology, ICT technology, to make agriculture beautiful and effective. Simple. So for today, when we say what exactly is digital technology, now to some people, the mind is like, boom, it is something huge and expensive they need to purchase. But the question is, no. You see, as a smallholder farmer, it is actually evident that you must, no matter what it is, even as a illiterate, you must begin to be able to acclimatize yourself to the use of several digital tools you have around you. For example, you must be able to buy a normal phone, as an Android phone, so that you can even gain some level of knowledge on agricultural information. That is one bit. Then other bit is, now we need to start working towards data collections. Data collection is quite important in agriculture because data will help you plan properly, especially on precision agriculture. Now, today, we've been able, certain inventors have been able to create several mobile apps that helps you determine the level of rain you will need on a particular commodity. Or, for example, help you determine the kind of pests that is currently harming your commodity on the farm. So these are several information that is available on the platform today. But we must be able, as smallholder farmers, you must be able to begin to acclimatize or get used to several technological platform data tools that is available around you. Now, if you want to go scale, I want to go bigger, then you can now say, I have about 100 hectares of farm, and I want to spray my 100 hectares of farm, which using very little labor. Today we have drones that can actually spray an entire farm of 100 hectares in less than 4 or 5 days. Properly, that is well mapped and that's well mapped and well labeled. Just zone them and you spray them in less couple of days. But as an ordinary person, you have to involve the physical labor to start spraying, and that will take you for like a month to complete that. But technology will make the job easier for you and to be more effective. So technology is in different series, it's in different skills. It now depends on the value chain again which you are playing in. Today we have Livestock 247, that is doing well, bringing technology to the livestock industry, help you to know where exactly your cow is coming from. We have likes of Hello Tractor, by Joel, that's been able to urbanize, the technology, the mechanization part of agriculture. We have, for example, corporate farmers that have been able to bring edutech into agriculture. We have Onyeka of Farm Crowd that has been able to properly, create a funding platforms for agriculture. So these are various ICT platforms. We have others that have been able to create different extension services. Farm to Gate, you purchase your commodities from farm to your table. Blockchain services. It's enormous. But it now depends on the value chain which you are playing on to now be more effective in that particular value chain.
Yeah, thank you so much, Akin. And the reason why I raised that is because I know a couple of people here that might not be interested directly into the primary production, maybe into the farming itself, but they have a computer science background or they're into coding, and they're looking, how can I plug into this entire value chain? I don't have skills when it comes to farming. I don't know, how many days it takes to raise a poultry bed. I don't have that idea. But all I have is, understanding, in the tech side. So how can I actually deploy my skills in that line into agriculture? And you've mentioned quite a good example, earlier Tractor Joel, using mechanical service to provide solutions to farmers, in that space, and so it's a very, very wide field. So guys, even though you're not directly into agriculture, but if you have skills in the right areas, agriculture is so wide that you can deploy your skills anywhere, anywhere along the value chains. So just to give an example or a scenario of it, so in a value chain, you could have those involved in primary production, that is those involved in farming itself, so maybe we have them at the villages, or we have those doing a large scale, maybe they involve with let's say poultry production, broiler beds, they produce them and then we consume them. So these are the primary producer. However, the agriculture does not end there. We have those that process those things. So we don't just consume, maize raw. We don't just consume rice raw. In fact, the rice we eat today is not the rice that was produced. The rice produced is paddy rice. So someone within the value chain had to take that paddy rice, process into consumable rice that we eat today. And so someone else can play with that value chain, not necessarily into the prime production where you need to produce those things itself. You might probably say, okay, mine is processing. I don't have the land, I don't have the farm to go into this kind of production. But what I have is maybe I have a machine that could help process this rice into consumable rice that we can consume as individuals. Or mine is into cassava. I don't have the land to produce cassava, but I have a Gary making machine that, I can actually give out or lease out for other people to use, where I make a fee from it, whereby they come to the farm, to my milling machine, and they mill those things into what? Into Gary that we consume today. It could be in form of food that we consume today, So not necessarily involved in a primary production, which so many people think, oh, agriculture is only those involved in prime production. No, it's quite a very, very wide field, And again, also, so might not probably involved in the processing, it could be involved in the marketing. So mine is, I don't have the land, I don't have the machine, but I have maybe the technical know-how to connect with A and B where they can sell these things. So you buy it from those that process it or that produce it, and so you market it globally, maybe through your social media page or through any forms in selling it out to other people. And so there's a whole lot of opportunities there. And maybe yours is to tech aspect. They can develop digital platforms where people can sell some of these things. We have a couple of them, in Nigeria today, and they're doing fantastically well in that space. So agriculture is very wide. Oh, great.
Let me just chip in something on that tech part. I was privileged to be part of a conference organized by Ecobank some few weeks back, and fortunately the MD was there. And one of the outcomes that came out is, look, today in Nigeria we have lots of fintech hubs. Lots of them. For example, fintech companies like Opay, Flutterwaves, and the likes of them were bettered from fintech hubs. They now grow into fintech company, but with fintech hub, they're able to get some level of funding, accessibility, grants and all that. And that's now upskill them into become a fintech company. Now, I said it particularly clear that it's time we begin to build agri-tech hubs. Agri-tech hubs whereby we have several players, innovative young minds that can create several coding, whatever, in the agri space that would help the life of farmers. Then these agri-tech hubs definitely will now transform into agri-technology proper, agri-technology platforms, just like we've been able to do in the fintech industry. The same thing needs to be replicated in the agri-tech space. So we have agri-tech hubs, across several states in the country, whereby they could get funds, they get grants, and solve solutions that are currently affecting farmers. And these solutions will help farmers do better, grow more, and become efficient, and also reduce food insecurity in the country. There are several things that could be done. So it's high time we begin to look at that skill to help those who are interested in technology part of agriculture. But today, that part is still struggling. It's still not there yet, because we don't have players who are critical or who are interested in investing enough in the agri-tech space in the country. But we're working something out, and definitely we're sure that will definitely come to a fruitful solution very soon. We're going to have agri-tech hubs across the country that several players or young minds can come there, create solutions, solve problems within the agricultural industry.
Yeah. Great, fantastic. I actually have a question as we run off this session. I have a question. Someone actually dropped similar question on the chat box, which speaks more of the knowledge gap. So someone said that what type of skill can one develop if is going into agricultural industry? Someone that has zero skill, so to say. And that speaks to me, which is a major challenge that people often have. I don't have any skill. I don't know how to raise broiler. I have passion, but I don't have the knowledge skill. So what advice will you give to people around here that have the passion to go into agriculture, but they have zero skill? What steps, what pathway we advise them to go into? Maybe they want to go into the primary production itself, or they want to go into other areas of the production aspect of it.
Thank you, Femi. Now, you see, the whole thing should start with your passion. First of all, as a young agripreneur or interested agripreneur, the first thing you need to identify is what exactly is my passion in the industry? What exactly do I want to do? Now, you've said it. Is it the production, processing, or extension, or service industry? You need to identify this first. Once you've identified this, now have a hold on which of the sector you want to play. And you can't do everything. So you now determine, once you identify your passion, say, okay, I prefer to go into the production sector. Now, production, which value chain do you want to play in? Is it crop production? Is it livestock industry? Is it the fish industry? Is it the snail pad? Now determine which sector exactly. You now pick one. Now that's the second level. Once you've picked the industry or the value chain you want to go into, now the first thing you do is to get knowledge about that particular value chain. Get knowledge about the particular value chain. Once you get knowledge of that particular value chain, you now bring your passion into the value chain. Now, your passion could be anything. Your passion could be driven around finance. It could be driven around providing technology solution. It could be driven around agri-communication and extension services. It could be driven around the production part of the whole business. But first of all, you need to understand what your passion is. Then, number two, your passion will now say, okay, which of the value chain do I want to feed on? You can't do everything. Now, from the identifying your value chain, you now bring your passion back into the value chain and now explore around the value chain. And you now grip your hold on what exactly you want to do. Agriculture is vast, it is wide. Let me give you an instance. A couple of weeks back, somebody sent us an email from Ondo State, said he wants to start a rubber plantation. And in my head, it's something we've never done before. It's a cash crop commodity, but we've never done it before. So I was thinking that we've never done rubber. I've never even seen a rubber farm before in my life. Unless I have to travel to actually know where it is. But instantly, I trip upon my team. Say, look, guys, let's start reading about rubber farming. Let's know what it takes. Where can we get rubber seedlings? You can't tell your clients no, but you need to start reading. Okay, where can we get rubber seedlings from? What is the opportunity around rubber farming? Where are the rubber farms in Nigeria? We start drilling down to get information, because definitely some people are playing critically well in that industry. But you can't do everything. But you need to study and understand the value chain you want to venture into. So it's simple. It's critical. Understand your passion, learn from it, and now go back to the passion and experiment and explore around it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, great. Thanks for giving that insight. So I'll drop my last question. And guys, if you have any other question, kindly drop as we run off this session. We have one more session to go, so it's kind of quite engaging. So my question goes majorly so we've dealt with a part of those that have zero skills into the business and they're just getting into it. So what advice will you give to someone that though started something similar, maybe into the poultry sector, but has some challenges and needs a level of encouragement, or want to upscale his business enterprise? What advice would you give such people? Because I know a couple of them here also. They have maybe they studied agriculture back in school. They've done series of stuff. They've gone into plantain production. They've done cassava, but it's not driving. It's not. It's frustrating, so to say. So what advice would you give to them, and just for them to keep moving forward and making the maximum impact in that sector?
All right, thank you, Femi. You see, in the space today, It's basically for young entrepreneurs. You just like every other sector, you must definitely have a mentor. A mentor means somebody who is successful in that industry, who have seen it all, okay, who have seen the gain, who have seen the loss, and so that you can learn from that person. So people ask me that, okay, who are your mentors? I have several mentors, and I can't mention all of them, but I have mentors that I learned from, their faults, their mistakes, and their success stories. So in the value chain you play in today, even as an agripreneur or a new agri person, you must definitely have or look for a mentor that can guide you, so that you don't make. You see, agriculture is so critical that one mistake can actually cause the loss of a whole lot, especially from livestock farming. Yeah. When it comes to poultry, when it comes to aqua, one single mistake can cause a whole lot of loss for you. And it's more like an investment totally in the drain. So you must be guided through a mentor to know how, especially those in the production center or production industry, even if you are creating, for example, a pen, for your chicken or for your birds, you must know how it's being created. Not just create something from your head. You must know exactly, understand the terrain which you actually have, or you are creating the penning. You must understand who are those around you, the markets around you, the opportunities around you. So you don't think that because Mr. Hay is successful in somewhere in Shagamu, but you that you are somewhere in Arepo or Ekiti can also be successful in the same thing. No. Because different factors have differentiated you. Number one, environmental factor, political factor, market factor. These are things that are totally different. So you must understand these things critically before you now jump into it. Unless if you are comparing the success of Mr. A in a location, your success in another location is two different paths, two different things apart. So you must have a mentor that would guide you, in the industry, and also you yourself understand where your market is, and also how best you can begin, how best you can invest in that value chain. So people say because maybe I have 1 million naira, I'm going to put the entire 1 million naira into. No, you must. I tell people, look, especially in livestock production, start small, learn from that, then now upscale to the next level. Learn from that, gradually you keep growing. But when you go and impute a whole lots of money investment, and you now fall at a loss, you find yourself to be blamed. You start small on a small scale, you grow from there, then you can become a big gun like Dangote and the likes, who are making a whole lot today in the industry. But you must start small and also have a mentor that will guide you.
Great, fantastic. In fact, Dangote himself started small. He never started, with his factory today. In fact,
exactly.
Based on the story, he actually started working with Lafarge as their major supplier before then, started up his own business. So I think that it's quite clear. Start small, grow big. Start more, have a big vision, but start small and then grow big gradually. And I think for me, 3 key things is very, very crucial here when it comes to agriculture. You mentioned them all. Passion. First of all, you must be passionate about whatever you want to do. Agriculture, it takes time. You need to be very, very passionate and takes patience. Secondly, develop the right knowledge. Agri needs technical understanding. You develop the right, no matter the value chain you are into, develop the right knowledge. Go for study. If you need to go for some courses to understand, what it takes in a particular value chain, maybe poultry, maybe goat rearing, maybe you want to go into plantain production, into rice, milling. Go for the knowledge. Get soaked with the knowledge. Get a mentor, as he also said, get a mentor that have run that path before and follow to that person's path. The person would have made series of mistakes earlier. So learn from their mistakes. Yes. Agriculture is full of mistakes. I've been through that before. I remember me going to poultry business. It has a lot of mistakes. So you don't need to, make the same mistakes again. Learn from their history, and learn from it, and and then start small and then grow big. Start small, grow big. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rakim. Thank you so much for this thing. I think we have the last one there. Maybe I think this it said thanks for the knowledge shared, sir. Please, sir, how can we start to learn recent technologies in agriculture? So I think Corporate Farmer has developed a platform where you can start learning a lot of this. The link will be dropped shortly on the page where you can go there, you can start learning. So maybe actually you can drop the link on the chat box of the your digital platform, educative digital platform, where they can start going there to learn a lot of things on agriculture. It's been so amazing. I wish we have more time, you know, but time's against us. It's just 6 p.m. I mean, 6 p.m. already. And we've actually overshoot our session, but it's so amazing. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
It's amazing. Thanks for coming around. We're so happy
Thank you
to have you, sir.
Thank you very much, Femi. It's an honor. Thank you very much. And I'm available anytime. You know, thank you very much. I've dropped the link though. So thank you very much. It's an honor.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
All right.
Cheers.
Thank you. Yeah. Cheers. All right. Thank you so much, guys. It's been so amazing. I'm sorry we couldn't take all the questions, but we'll see. Have something very interesting for us to learn today. And so we will take our next session, which is a speaker. She's a quite amazing person. I've personally worked with her. Great person, enthusiastic person, passionate. She's quite passionate about agriculture. Maybe when you hear her speak, you will know what I'm talking about. So she'll be telling us. So the first session we've had today speaks more into the agricultural space and what are the potential we have in that sector, and what you can do, you and I can do to either start a business. Maybe you have zero knowledge about the sector. So what it takes for you to start your business. And secondly is for those already in the business, what are the things I need to do to increase, my capability, my capacity, or to expand my growth in that business. I will mention a couple of things. You need to be passionate, first of all. You need to go for the knowledge. We can't overemphasize that. Go for the knowledge, get the right knowledge about that value chains you're into. And thirdly, also get a mentor that has run that path before that you can follow. We have a lot of them online. You can also follow Akin Alabi. Is a great guy. You can go to a Twitter on Corporate Farmers, see all what they are doing, and keep following them. A lot of things they are doing there. And lastly, also, which is also very important, is start small and grow big. Don't start from the pinnacle. Start small and grow big. Amazing session. So we're going to the second session because of our time. We're going to the second session now with a speaker, Vera. Hi, Vera. Hi there. Good evening.
Good evening. Okay,
everyone. Great. Yeah. Thanks so much, Vera. So for now, what we'll be talking majorly about is we've realized one of the major challenges business faces today, especially those involved in agriculture, is financing. So I have not seen the chat a question you asked, I want to go into business. Maybe I have the skill, I have the knowledge, but what are the things? I don't have the funding to start my business. I don't have the funding to scale up my business. So that's where we have a very specialist in agribusiness from Sterling Bank, and a key person. She's the product manager on the SWIAFIN, which we will shortly display. Let me just read out this amazing woman profile, Vera. Okay. All right, we have Vera Iheanacho, the product manager, Sterling Women and Youth in Agriculture Finance, SWIAFIN. She's an agri-finance specialist and business intelligence manager with over 7 years experience in value chain finance, credit risk management, rural development, sales, and financial product designs, as well as facilitating easy access to low-cost finance for smallholder farmers across Nigeria. She doubles as the product manager of the Sterling Women and Youths in Agriculture Finance, SWIAFIN. With great applause, let's kindly welcome this wonderful person who is Vera Iheanacho, as she takes us a new session on the SWIAFIN product. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Femi. In fact, those accolades. I don't think
you're much more.
Right. All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, my youths. Good evening, the future of tomorrow. I hope we're doing well and we're keeping safe. Thank you so much, Femi, for organizing this program. Thank you for the opportunity. It's a privilege to be with you to speak about some of the changes, some of the innovations, some of the solutions we've brought to the agricultural sector. My name again is Vera Henacho, and I'll be walking you through on how you can access finance for your business. And trust me, I won't tell you to come with um, an incorporated business that has been, registered with CSC for over 10 years before you can access finance. So you can be a startup, you can be an existing business, right, to be able to access the products that Sterling Bank has developed for us. Well, first of all, when we talk about agriculture, conversations about agriculture is beyond agriculture, right? We're talking about food security, we're talking about trade and investment, we're talking about climate change, we're talking about water, we're talking about sustainability. The video that was played earlier on the program shows how many liters of water we need to get one beef, 1 kilogram of beef, or how many liters of water we need to get 1 kg of maize. So we can see that agriculture is versatile. When we think about or talk about agriculture, let's not think about that old man in the village holding cutlasses and no, agriculture is beyond that, right? And even when we talk about agriculture, let's not limit our minds to rain-fed agriculture. Thank God Mr. Akinyalabi spoke very well about agriculture and the innovations that has come up in the space. So agriculture has evolved, right? There are a lot of innovations in the space. And I would like to give a kudos to Akinyalabi for that wonderful session earlier. I personally learned a lot. So when we talk about agriculture, right, it spans beyond rain-fed agriculture. It spans beyond season. Hunger seasonal. So we shouldn't see agriculture as something that is seasonal. Yes, agriculture is a science, but we are here to talk about agriculture as a business. Secondly, agriculture is risky, but my ED, Yemi Odubi, will say one thing. He will say risk is also opportunity. It depends on how you perceive it. So how do you perceive risk? Do you see risk as an opportunity that you can quickly grab, latch on, try to mitigate or manage this risk and get something significant out of it, or you see it as something to run away from? So fine, the business is risky, but it has the ability, according to the Minister of Agriculture, former Minister of Agriculture, Akinwumi Adesina, and the now President of the AFDB, it has the ability, right, to create $1 trillion come 2030. And if you are thinking of making money, not MMM style, like Akinyalabi said, right, but genuine money, good money, right, this is the sector to be in. Agriculture affects our lives. In fact, there's one thing that ties the rich man and the poor man together, and that is food. A rich man can never go hungry, right? He can't stay without food. So also a poor man, no matter his status. So agriculture is very important. We can see the level of malnourishment, the level of hunger, right? That a lot of people faced during the COVID pandemic. In fact, at some point, people were like, we don't want restrictions. Don't lock us down. Let's go. We don't mind dying of COVID than dying of hunger. So we can see how important agric is, right, to every living being on earth. And guess what? Our population is increasing on a geometric basis, right? But productivity is increasing on an arithmetic basis. So we have to, right, sit down and rethink the business of agriculture. Now, without further ado, these are the things that Sterling Bank talks about when we think about coming up with solutions, right, for the sector. The sector it's plagued with a lot of challenges, from lack of access to good information, lack of access to finance, lack of access to quality input, and lack of access to market. Currently, Nigeria faces about 65% post-harvest losses, right? So for every 100 kg of maize a farmer plants, 65 or tomatoes, 65% of that is lost. And I'm very sure it is more than that. This is just the data we can get. This is just statistics that we're able to get. So these are the issues troubling the sector. But Sterling Bank, because we understand that feeding the nation is everybody's responsibility, we have taken a lot of significant actions, right, to ensuring that some of these challenges are being resolved gradually, at least one farmer at a time. One bank alone can solve the problem. And that is why We've also gone ahead to organize agricultural summit that brings together stakeholders, key players to talk about these problems and solutions to addressing them. But without that, the focus today is on finance. So we've been able to, as a bank, Sterling Bank, we've been able to set aside 10% of our loan portfolio to finance in the agricultural sector. This allow Femi, are you going to project the slide or should I project it from my end?
If you can project it from your hand, I think so. You can.
Okay, all right, thank you. So, sorry, just give me a minute to project the slide, but I'll keep talking. Okay, so we've been able to set aside 10% of our loan portfolio as a bank to financing the sector because we understand that that sector needs a lot of money, at least for the sector that contributes significantly to the economy's GDP, feeds a lot of people and employs 65% of its population. We need to make deliberate efforts, right, in financing the sector. And agriculture is interesting because for every one person you finance, according to the Agricultural Multiplier Index, 7 other indirect jobs are created. So we can see the ripple effects that agri has in the economy, in economic development, even in foreign, when we talk about foreign reserves, we don't have to be spending the little money we make to import simple things as cornstarch from the abroad, right? We can manufacture these things, we can make ourselves sustainable. We have a lot of arable land, right, that has currently not been farmed on. And now agric is hasn't even evolved. You don't have to farm on soils anymore, right? There are soilless farming techniques, aquaponics, hydroponics, and all that. So when we think of agriculture, let's think of it as a business. Let's mix innovation, right, in whatever we're doing. So even when we approach any bank, wow, the bank will be thrilled by that idea and they will be glad to finance us. So when I say us, I'm also talking as a farmer, right? Because I have a background in agriculture also, like most of us, and the passion for agric is there. Someone was asking that, okay, okay, sorry, Femi, you said host disabled participant screen sharing. So can you enable me to share my screen? Femi, enable me share my screen. Can you hear me? Femi, you're muted.
I've enabled you, Vera. I've enabled you. You can go ahead and share your screen now. Yes, fantastic. Yeah. Great.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right. So as I was saying, thanks, Femi. What's my chain of thought? So as I was saying, we've dedicated 10% of our loan portfolio to financing the sector. We've also tried to bring together key stakeholders to see how we can address these issues. We've partnered with key organizations to develop products that are targeted at a specific group of people that have been financially excluded for a long time, right? Ordinarily, these people are not really attractive for lending, but we've been able to come up with packages, right, that will make these people get interested in agribusiness. So someone was asking in the chat that, okay, how do you encourage people like us that are starting up because the business is risky? Yeah, like I said before, that's why I even said that statement. No risk, no reward. The higher the risk, the higher the reward, right? So it just depends on how you see risk. Risk is also an opportunity. And one thing will keep you going: passion, patience, persistence. Have you ever seen anybody that gave up and became successful? No, right? So you have to keep at it, be dogged, and then one day you'll be glad you did. Everybody that is big today, the Dangotes of this world, the Olams, the flour mills, they didn't start on a bed of roses, on a platter of gold. No, they paid the price, right? So at some point in time, life is a series of trades. You have to give up something to get something. So that's just for that person asking that question. You need to keep up, never give up. Okay, so some of what we do in the bank is tied to the SDG goals, is around climate action. The weather is changing. When we expect rain, we don't see rain because a lot of degradation activities, a lot of pollution, global warming is happening at the same time, and it's even affecting crops. And guess what? Crops, even agriculture contributes significantly to climate action. So we must be responsible in the way we plant, right? And in the way we rear our animals, right? So that we can manage some of these negative climate changes and the effect it has on us. So we also want to ensure that we end poverty. If we create good jobs, decent jobs, empower farmers, right, we're able to at least reduce poverty, because most of the rural poor are the smallholder farmers. And these are the people that produce 80% of the food we eat. So we want to change this narrative. We want to empower the smallholder farmers, right? By financing them and ensuring that whatever it is they're doing, they're able to do it in a better way. Their skills are improved and they can keep producing in volumes. They're not just feeding their families alone. We want to also end hunger, right? How do we end hunger? By ensuring clean and quality food gets to the table of Nigerians and Africans at large. So some of the things we also want to ensure gender equality, achieve gender parity, to empower young women and men in the agricultural sector. So these are some of the things that we want to do. And this is how we come up with this product. It's telling women and youth in agri finance. So our approach is three-pronged, ranging from training these farmers by partnering with organizations to financing them and managing them. Akin Alabi said something very significant. That's extension services. That sector or that subsector has been greatly underrated. So we want to change this narrative. These people are very important, to the success of a business. So you don't just train people and expect them to come out successful. No, you have to manage them. You have to unhold them to see that whatever you've trained them on is what they are putting into practice. And over time, these people get the experience, right? And they become better, and their lives are enriched and their businesses are enriched. Right. Okay. So during the pandemic, it was clear people were hungry, inflation skyrocketed, food prices have increased significantly, and some people can't even afford to buy what they used to buy before. In fact, they even call it now shrinkflation. So if you used to buy a packet of spaghetti that was weighing about 100 grams, let's see, for maybe 200 naira. With that same 200 naira, what you'll be getting is about 50 grams. Gala is no more gala. There's no more sausage in that gala, right? So you won't blame these companies, because the effect is devastating. Everybody's been affected.
Very
So
true.
we said, how do we solve this problem one step at a time? How do we manage these issues? So we had to come up with a fund, fund for women and youth in agriculture. Women, because these people make up a significant portion of the agri value chain, right? So according to the Ministry of Agriculture, 70% of them are involved in farming. And these are women. These women don't have access to finance like the male counterparts, right? Most of them too are not too bold to approach financial institutions for funding. Also, they don't have collateral. So those for the people involved in primary production. So that is why we are deliberately focusing on women. The male folks in the house, don't be jealous. We're not leaving you out. We have an allowance for you. And for the youths, my youths, if you fall within the age range of 18 to 35, this fund is also for you. I'll speak about more features of the funds later. So we had to come up with this fund during the pandemic to see how we can ease access to finance to the sector. So the funds is quite huge, close to 12 billion naira, and we have several categories that we have seared the funds for. So for retail businesses, you can take up to 5 million. Like an Ayodele, Ayomide now can take up to 5 million, even though you haven't registered your business as Ayodele and Sons or Ayodele and Daughters, right? You can take up to 5 million. Then in the process of your business, you can now go ahead and incorporate your business so that you can be more bankable and you can have records with the CAC. Then for SME businesses, if you are into production processing, you can access up to 20 million naira. All right. So we are not doing this alone, right? If you want to go far, they say, if you want to go far, go alone. But if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, right, go with people. So we have partnered with people, and also because the business, like we've said, is risky, but there are smart ways you can manage this risk. So we've tried to partner one or two insurance companies to transfer some of those risks to them. So God forbid, if something happens to the farming enterprise, the insurance company will compensate you for the losses. So we've partnered with some insurance companies. We've partnered with some training institutions to equip the beneficiaries of those funds. That is for startups, right? You have to be trained. If you say you want to take part in agriculture, agriculture is not something like Femi had said. It's not something you just wake up and say, I want to do. No, there are systems, there are techniques to this. Don't forget it is the science first before it is a business, right? So you have to understand the science before you can invest in it to make it a business that can grow. So you have to be equipped with the right skills. IIT is one of our partners. EDC is one of our partners. Animal Care is one of our partners. These people should actually pay me for advertisement, honestly. Um, okay, this talks about the features of the product. So like I said before, age range, if you fall within the ages of 18 to 35, whether you're a man or a woman, you can access this funding. The interest rate is the best of its kind in the industry, is at 9%. The tenor, because it's sort of like a COVID relief fund, the tenor is 2 years, but it started from July 2020, right? So it should be elapsing sometime in December 2022. What activities do we finance? All activities within the agricultural value chain, from input production. So if you make seeds, you multiply seeds. If you sell seeds, if you sell fertilizers, agrochemicals, you can access it. Join to processing, right? So you don't necessarily have to fall under production, primary production, primary production. No, you can say you want to add value to what these farmers have produced and even make more money, because the more value you add, the more money you stand to make. So if you are into processing, you can access this funding. Sales and distribution, you can access this funding. If you want to purchase a little collateral, a little assets, you can finance it. This funding is uncollateralized, but if we are financing you to buy assets, right, that asset will be the collateral. Also, we try to reduce the equity contribution. Most of the time, if you want to collect loan from the bank, because the bank wants to see your own commitment to the business, the bank expects that you should have saved up some money, or you should even have some money that you ought to put in that business. So that is usually called equity contribution, capital contribution. But in this case, and it usually ranges between 20 to 30%. But we've lowered it for our youths and women, and we're taking 15%. And that money will not be touched by the bank. It will be in your savings or current account all through the period of the loan. And when you repay, the money will be released to you while the bank disburses 100% of that facility. So this just breaks down the value chain. If you're into honey production, shea butter processing, oil palm processing, cassava processing into gari, one of my favorite meals, feed milling, ginger processing, broiler processing. You take chicken from the farmer, you process it and sell to Chicken Republic, right? Tasty fried chicken, also one of my favorite meals. We can finance you. Commodity aggregation, you say you want to mop up commodity, you want to mop up maize that a group of farmers have planted, you can access it. You want to finance, you want to stock up or expand your broiler pen, you can access the money. You also want to fatten goats, maybe for the Salah holidays, Christmas, whatever it is, you can access the money. You want to grow mushrooms, you want to plant maize, rice, arable crops that at least have a short gestation period, maturing period. Let's not go too technical. You can access the money, right? So this just tells you what you need to contribute. So you need to contribute at least your portion to show the bank that you're committed. Agric insurance is mandatory. Like I said, agric is risky. So one way to manage risk one way to treat the risk is to manage that risk or transfer it. So we're transferring risk to insurance companies. Just in case a loss happens, they can compensate us. And agric is demand driven, right? So you don't just wake up and say, I want to plant maize. Oh, when I harvest, I will sell to whoever I see. No, you have to think backward. There are a lot of companies that use maize for this, and this. Can I approach these companies and tell them I want to be supplying maize to them on a biannual basis? Would they want to buy from me? What quality do they want? What standard? What kind of grains? All right, before you now go ahead and produce. Otherwise, if you just say you want to produce, middlemen will exploit you, right? They will buy it at any price that you want to sell at the end of the day because you don't have a contract from an off-taker. So off-taker agreement is very, very key when we talk about financing agriculture, especially when there's no collateral involved. And then, we're also talking about reducing post-harvest losses. So if you have someone that's coming to clear up everything you have planted, nobody will lose anything. there won't be anything like post-harvest losses, right? Because as soon as you're planting, someone is picking up and you're getting cash for it. Um, so these are basically some of the requirements you need. If you also want to submit a loan request, you need an economics of production. And economics of production just talks about the cost attached to each factor of production. I don't know if you remember in economics class, the third factor of production: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur, right? So EOP is similar to it. If you want to plant, you need your land, you need your capital, you need labor. So how much would you pay for leasing that land? How much would you pay for the labor? Even the inputs that you will use, how much would you pay? Cost all those things, submit that thing to the bank, that document to the bank, right? After you submit it to the bank, they'll now say, okay, you need 250,000 for 1 hectare of maize. Okay, excellent. I'll go ahead and disburse that money to you. When that money is disbursed, how much do you expect from that same 1 hectare? What is your harvest looking like? Okay, if you harvest 3.5 metric tons and then 1 metric ton is selling for 160 to 200,000, that means you'll be making like 600, 750,000. You can see that you're making profits. So when you minus 750 from the 250,000 minus the interest, you are still going home happy and smiling with the remaining money you have. So that's just basically what an economics of production does. It gives the bank an insight into the cost of production for that business and how much loan they need to approve for you at the end of the day. So these are basic documents that you need to submit. I remember I've not asked you to go and bring a land from Banana Island or Ikoyi or the Ikoyi Court or Lekki Gardens. This product is simple, right? We want to make the loans easily accessible. So we're not asking for impossible things or things that we know that some of our youths or startups don't even have time to invest in now. Because I'm sure if you have 5 million, what you are thinking about is how you can set up a business and not going to buy a property in Ogudu GRA. Okay, so these are basically what this product is about. Femi, our coordinator, will share the slides so we can acquaint ourselves more and more with it. So because of the COVID pandemic, we wanted to reduce physical contact as much as possible. We had to digitize the application of the product. So the link will be shared. Femi, please help me share the link. We've gone ahead to digitize the product. So when you click on that link, you can make your application through that link. And from there, we will treat your request and pass it on to the responsible parties to analyze your documents, and work on your loans, or even push your loan to the branch where you open your account. Then you can have interaction with your relationship manager. Your relationship manager will guide you. If your documents are adequate, they'll tell you. If not, they will let you know. They will also schedule a visit to your farm or maybe your land that you have bought that you want to use to farm. So it is as simple as that. Generally, disbursement is quick too, because we're also looking at time. Your disbursement is about 2 to 3 weeks after your application. That is if all your documentations are complete. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the features of the product. Any questions, clarifications? I'm here to take it. Thank you. Okay, so thank you, Femi. That's just a wrap of what the SWIACFIN looks like. And but beyond SWIACFIN, the bank also has other products that can be easily accessible by all stakeholders in the agricultural value chain, regardless of who you are. If you're a man, if you're a woman, if you're a youth, if you're aged, you can access any of the bank's loans. We've come up with several products. We've also been able to access some intervention funds from the Central Bank of Nigeria, right? I'm also from the NESA, so we are very, very open to collaboration just to ensure that people get fed. So thank you very much. I'm here to take your questions. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much, Vera. Thank you so much for giving us the insight on the SWIACFIN product. It's quite an amazing product developed by Sterling Bank for youth and women, though it's a product for youth within the age of 18 to 35 years. But if you have individuals above that age, you can still access the facility. So we've dropped the link where you can apply. Just sign up. You need to have a Sterling account, so you can walk to any Sterling Bank branch to open an account, or you go to the Sterling Bank One Bank. You can go to your mobile phone and download this One Bank app, where you can open a current account to get onboarded on this platform, and then go to the SWIACFIN Sterling platform to register, sign up, attach all your necessary documentation required for the facilities, and go you go. You'll be onboarded, and the back end, some of the staff members of the bank will reach out to you to follow you. You can hear me? Hello, Rose, can you hear me? Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can.
Oh, thanks, Vincent. All right. So, Rose, you can check your network, your connectivity, or maybe check your sound system so that you can hear me. All right. So you can open an account. First, open an account with Sterling Bank, and then go to that website, sterling.ng/SWIACFIN. Sign up with your account number and with some documentations. Tell us what you do, what you want us to do, what you require from the bank. You would have seen those information required. Some of the key information that will require from you is your business plan. You know, it's been said that just as CVT is to a job interview, as someone interviewing at a job setting, your CV is paramount to them. Similarly to a bank or to a financier, what is paramount is your business plan. So make your business plan be well detailed, you know, and it's presentable to a bank. So your business plan is required, your application letter is required. What other is required is your if you are requesting for a facility less than 5 million naira, you don't need to have it registered. But if you are requesting for a facility above 5 million naira, you need to have your bank, your business registered. So we need your certificate, we need your certificate of incorporation. Beyond that, also they will need your cash flow projection. So we will drop they will drop, I don't know if Vera, okay, we'll drop the list of the requirements you need for facilities below that amount. However, the presentation slide was shared with also, you can see what are the requirements for each of those buckets. So in short, we have about 4 or 5 buckets. You know, there are about 4 or 5 buckets for this facility. We have the smallholder or the cooperative, that is those maybe they are doing, let's say, 1 plot of land, 2 plot of land, you know, within their backyard. So those are the first criteria of individuals. And those people also can have access to up to 5 million naira. They don't need to have their business registered. But if they occur in cooperative, we expect the cooperative to have been registered, and a few documentation will be required. The PowerPoint, we include all this requirement that you can see, and then you can know what to provide. But if you're just a startup, a new business in the business, agribusiness, and you need fund, this is a fund you can actually leverage on. What you require is you need your what? You need your business plan, you need your cash flow projection, you need your application letter, you will need your if you are buying assets, we need what you call a pro forma invoice. It will be required from you. Beyond that, also you also be required to give us your offtake agreement. So let's say you want to sell to certain people. Do you have someone that is going to buy whatever you are producing? You know, so like a letter from your offtaker is someone that is buying whatever you are producing. That will be required from you. So that's the basic information that is required from you if you are requesting for a loan that is less than 5 million naira. And again, what will be required is like, so we expect you that you have, that the bank expects that you have a technical know-how in the enterprise you are going into. So what they will be required from you is what, like a certificate of what, of experience, like a certificate of training. That you've undergone a certain training. For example, let's say I want to access a facility from the bank, from Sterling Bank, and I want to go into poultry production, and I don't have the money, you know. So what is required for me is to first of all go for the training. We've said it, training is key. So go for any training, maybe any enterprise development center or institute, you know, that, you know, carry out training where they train individuals, they train businesses on a particular value chain. Go for the training, inquire, get the knowledge. That is very critical, even before accessing the loan. Get the knowledge, because it's a loan, it's not a grant. So you must have the knowledge for you to be able to manage the fund effectively well, and for you to be able to maximize it appropriately. And so get the technical know-how, get the knowledge, and then you can apply for this loan. So you will also need your certificate of training as one of the requirements in accessing this facility for those that needs fund lower than 5 million rand. But if you need funds higher than 5 million rand, meaning that you're already in business, is for what existing business owners, you will need your certificate of incorporation, alongside with your business plan, your cash flow projection, your letter of off-taker, application letter, and also your pro forma invoice if you're buying assets, and also your bank statement. So not necessarily mean that you need to give us bank statement from Sterling Bank. So you'll probably give the bank statement from other banks that you've been doing business with, just for them to be able to see your transaction and be able to know how well you've been doing before now, and what volume of value of fund you are capable of managing effectively well. So that's pretty easy and simple. I don't know if there are questions for Madam Vera. You can kindly drop it on the chat box as we gradually round off. I will share the link, the PowerPoint slides to you. I don't know if you can also share us your email address, or you can drop it on the chat box where you can get the PowerPoint slide for you to read and have understanding about, so that even you can even tell other people about the product. So you can drop your email address and drop your questions as we gradually round off. Thank you so much, Madam Vera, for giving insights on the Sterling product, the Sterling and Women and Youths, Sterling Women and Youth in Agri-Finance product. Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay, Madam Vera, you have a question here from Vincent. It says, please, I have challenge with the off-takers requirement. I have challenge with the off-taker requirements. We don't know if you can provide insight to that.
Okay, off-taker agreement is not difficult. If you have challenges with it, the bank can help you arrange, an off-taker to help you off-take your product, because we have a lot of agri customers in our books who are always looking for one or two things to process, from farmers. So we can link you up with off-takers in our books, and they can help you off-take some of your commodities if your farm is close to them. So that is really not an issue. But an off-taker agreement is a simple document that the off-taker just writes to you to say, or writes to the bank to say, I know this person, I've been doing business with him, or I want to start doing business with him. When he's done, I will take off his products from him. So it's really not a technical stuff like that. But the bank can help you arrange this if you have issues, or if you're a startup. I hope that is okay for you. Chibueze.
Yes, ma'am. I'm clear.
So that's fine. Thank you. Okay, more questions? Yes, the off-taker, yes. Chibueze, you also asked if it is a required. Yes, it is very required. Like I said before, Agric is demand driven. When we finance you, we want to know how you are going to sell that product. Access to market is also very important for us. You remember, it's one of the challenges that the farmers face. So if you don't have access to market, how are you going to sell the product? Because it's a market that will pay you eventually for that product. All right. So it is very important, since we are not taking any collateral for the loan. Thank you.
Okay. My earlier challenge was, if as a startup, I have acquired the knowledge of a particular agricultural enterprise, perhaps broiler production or turkey production, and I have the facilities, the land, some of the assets, but I require capital to maybe get the chicks or feed to maturity and everything. Getting off-takers, especially for a startup, may actually be very difficult. But when you clarify that the bank can actually assist with that, I think that's attractive.
Okay, yeah, well, the bank can access with it because we have a lot of processors, broiler processors in our value chain. Assuming you're into broiler processing, even maize processors in our value chain. But off-taker shouldn't be difficult. There are a lot of people that are even looking for chicks to process, to process and sell. That chicken, the broiler industry is quite booming, even though it is volatile because of price fluctuation and all that. But there are a lot of processors looking for chicken to process as we speak. So if you approach one of them, they can help you. But if you are not, the bank can help with that. And maybe you can forge the relationship from there as a startup and grow. All right. Can we take more questions?
Sure. Yeah, I think someone dropped a message on the chat box. So this person says from Abdulazim says, good evening, ma. You made mention of equity. Must it be physical cash? Hello, Vera. Hello, Madam Vera. Can you hear me?
Sorry, I lost you, Femi. What did you say?
Okay, so we have the question. Someone asking that you mentioned about equity. Must it be physical cash that is being required to provide?
It's cash. It's cash. Cash is king. Physical cash is what is required, and it will be in your bank account, right? And the bank will place a lien on it. So it's not as if the bank will take it. It will be in your account. You'll be looking at it, but just that you can access it until you have, but the bank will disburse 100% of the loan to you. Until you have finished paying that loan, you are able to now access that cash. That is just to show your commitment to the business. So it's cash that is required, not asset or whatever. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, so okay, I think it's clear. Abdulsalim is much clear about that. Do you have other questions? Clarification we require from Madam Vera. Any other question? We will drop, so just drop your email address for you to have the slides presentation after now, for you to work with. And also, just to add also, you can also work to any Sterling Bank branch to get more clarity on questions or other information you require about the product, the SWE Acfin product, Sterling Women and Youth in Agrifinance product. So you can work in any Sterling Bank branch to get clarity about the product. Yeah. Okay, thanks. Okay, dropping your email address. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Madam Vera, the product manager of Sterling Women and Youth in Agrifinance. It's a privilege having you here. We have a question from someone again here. Says that what is the percentage of equity I need, please? Maybe the person needs clarity in terms of what is the percentage of the equity I need to provide.
Okay, so if you are taking below 5 million, you need 5% equity. So that's about 250,000. If you need, above 5 million, let's say 5 to 20 million, you need to drop 10% equity. Above 20 million, you need to drop 15% equity. But all this will be in the slides that I'll be sharing with you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Madam Vera, for giving that insight on what you equipment. So it's quite simple, one of the challenge we've seen in agribusiness is collateral. Banks require too much collateral from us. We need to have a land in Banana Island. You don't need all that here. Just as I said, if you're requesting for something less than 5 million naira, your collateral, your cash collateral required is just 5% of whatever amount you're requesting for. And that's pretty simple and easy. And also the interest rate has been brought down to make it accessible and able for you to access the facility. So it's quite a win-win for you to be able to liaise and be able to implement and leverage on this facility. Thank you so much, Vera, and thank you so much to Sterling Bank for availing this product for agribusiness owners. So thank you so much. It's been so amazing and interesting so far. We've had 2 key sessions. The first session speaks majorly to what are the opportunities we have in the agri sector, and what can I do as a newbie, as a startup individual, to start my business, and we've learned a lot. We talk about the place of you having the knowledge. We talk about you being able to have the going for the knowledge, having the passion for it, and having a mentor for it. And for those already, we told you also that you can also start small and grow big. Start small and grow big. It's been a great privilege for us here today. More questions I'll keep dropping in about this SWE Acfin. Okay, someone is asking, how responsive fast is the speed of processing the SWE loan? How quick can if I apply today, how quick Hello, can you hear me, please? Hello, can you hear me, please? Sorry, I lost a minute there. Can we hear me? Can we just show a sign?
I can hear you
Oh,
now.
all right, great, great. So I did mention that. So if you have your documentation, on ground, you don't need to stress yourself. Just submit your document on the portal, and someone back end will process it. So within 3 weeks or so or less, if you have all those things ready, you should be able to access the facility. If you have all those documentation ready. And again, if you also have a bank close to you, if you have a Sterling Bank close to you, you can also go to the bank, request of this facility, and you can, submit all those documents with them also. They will also help you process those documentations where necessary. And, within less than a month, your facility will be dispersed to you. So that answers the question. All right. Banks often take too long to process, and this can kill the vibes of the enthusiastic farmers. Yes, we understand, Vincent, that interestingly, it's the rainy season, and farmers depend on rain to do their production. So that's why it's been said that so as much as you have your documentation ready, it's the turnaround time is very, very short. As much as you've made the requirement for the facility, it will be disbursed to you within when the credit team check those documents, and they are fine with it. It's something they can easily disburse from to you, and you'll be fine to have the loan as soon as possible. All right. If you have more questions, you can drop it. You can drop it or send a chat to me, or I don't know if Madam Vera would also like to drop maybe an email address or a way of, in case they want to get across to her, you can get across to also get across to me for more clarity about this. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been an amazing 1 hour and 47 minutes, and I hope we've learned 1 or 2 things from it. Gemma will be back with much more bigger programs as we proceed, and so we want to say, see you always at the tip of your success height, for you are destined to be there. If you have more questions, you can get about GMM generally, you can get across to me. I will drop my phone number. You can reach out to me on the line for more clarity on information on GMM and all of you. My name remains Femi Aiba Meru, and it's an amazing moment to have us here. Thank you so much to our speakers once again, to Akin. Akin, thank you so much for coming around, for Alabi, for giving us insight of the product of what you do in corporate farmers. And thank you a lot for Vera Yanacho for giving us insight on the soybean products. We don't take this for granted. We appreciate you and appreciate the bank for what they are doing. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a wonderful week ahead. God bless you and stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Welcome.